Hello. So today we'll be talking about self-care. So welcome to the very first episode of She Reigns, the Real Conversation, the place where faith meets real life, healing meets honesty, and we talk about the things women are often expected to suffer through silently. I'm your host, Shaquana Yard, and before we go any further, let me warn you, this is not going to be one of those conversations where I tell you to go light a candle, take a bubble bath, and pretend that everything's okay. There is nothing wrong with candles and bubble baths. I love candles myself. I enjoy peace just like everybody else. But some of us are trying to soak away problems that require boundaries. We are trying to pray away exhaustion that is partly caused by our inability to say no. We are buying journals, booking massages, and posting quotes about protecting our peace. They're answering the phone every time that same person calls to disturb it. That is not self care. That is temporary relief from a life that keeps draining you, yeah. So today's episode is called Stop Calling Self Neglect Strength. And yes, I may hurt some feelings today, but I'm not trying to hurt you to destroy you. I want you to confront what is hurting you so that you can finally rebuild. This is She Reigns, the real conversation. And around here, we do not put a crown over wounds and pretend that we are healed. We tell the truth. So, before we begin, let me ask you something. When was the last time you took care of yourself without feeling guilty? When was the last time you rested without first reaching complete exhaustion? And when was the last time you said no without writing an entire paragraph explaining why? And when was the last time somebody genuinely asked you, "Are you okay?" And they actually stayed around long enough to hear your answer? Some of us become so accustomed to taking care of everybody else that we do not even know what we need anymore. We know what our children need, we know what our partners need, what our families need, the church, the job, our friends. But when somebody asks you, "What do you need?" why do we become quiet? We spend so much time being useful to other people that we have forgotten how simply to be human. Let me say this clearly. Being needed is not the same as being loved. Some people do not love you. They love your availability. They love that you always answer. They love that you always fix it. They love that you lend them money, you watch their children, you cover that necessary shift at work, you solve the problem, forgive the disrespect, and you show up even when you're falling apart. And what happens the moment you don't? They start saying you change, you're acting funny, you think you're better than everybody else. No, I did change. You stopped volunteering to be drained. So, during this podcast, we're going to have different parts to help people understand. So, this part is called the Brooklyn Truth, where we take the sugar off of it and we say what is needed to be said. So, here is today's Brooklyn Truth. Some of you are not tired because life is hard. You are tired because you keep giving people access to you who have proven that they do not care what their access costs you. Do I need to say that again? You are tired because you keep giving people access to you who have proven that they do not care what their access costs you. That may hurt, but just sit with that for a minute. You are exhausted from being everybody's emergency contact while having nobody you can call during your own emergency. You are always checking on people who can go days, weeks, or months without checking on you. You keep showing up for people who only remember you when they need something. Then you tell yourself, that is just who I am. I have a good heart. I know because I said that a whole lot. And to be honest, I still say that. But having a good heart does not mean giving everybody permission to mishandle it. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can love people and still tell them no. You can forgive someone and still remove their access. You could be a Christian and stop allowing people to use you. God did not call you to be everybody's savior. That position has already been filled. Some of us are trying to rescue people who are comfortable drowning, as long as they could pull us under with them. You keep helping people avoid the consequences that may finally teach them to change. Then you wonder why they never grow. Sometimes your help is not really helping. Sometimes your constant rescuing is enabling, or like I say, giving them the crutch. Sometimes saying no is the most loving thing you can do for them and for yourself. Many women have been praised for being strong so long that strength has become a prison. People start saying, she can handle it. She always figures it out. She don't need nobody. She's the strong one. But nobody asks what it costs her to keep being strong. Nobody sees her crying in private and pulling herself together before walking into work. Nobody sees her carrying grief, financial pressures, family problems, ministry responsibilities, relationship concerns, and personal dreams, all while telling everybody else, I'm okay. So let's be honest. Sometimes I'm okay really means I don't believe this is a safe place for me to fall apart. Sometimes we stay strong because our past taught us that help is not coming. Sometimes we become independent. We stop asking, stop expecting, and stop trusting. We convince ourselves that we do not need anyone, but deep inside, we are angry because no one notices that we are drowning. Here comes another hard truth. People cannot always respond to a need you refuse to communicate. Yeah, some people should notice. Some people should check on you. But if you constantly smile, say yes, and tell everybody that you're fine, you are teaching them to believe you do not need support. Self care also means becoming honest enough to say, I am overwhelmed. I cannot do that today. I need some help. I am not emotionally available to carry this. I love you, but I am not okay right now. That is not weakness. That is emotional honesty. Self care is more than pampering. We love being pampered, yes, but the self care that we're talking about today is not just what makes you feel good for an hour. It is what protects your well being when the comfortable choice would be to keep neglecting yourself. Sometimes self care is going to bed instead of staying up worrying about something you can't control. Sometimes it's making a doctor's appointment you keep postponing. I could say ouch for that. Sometimes it's creating a budget and facing the numbers. Sometimes it's going to therapy. Sometimes it's taking your medication as prescribed. Sometimes it is eating something nourishing instead of running all day with nothing in your body. And this is a hard one. Sometimes it's just turning your phone off, right? Sometimes it is admitting that a relationship is hurting you. Sometimes just leave the group chat. Don't answer every phone call. Sometimes it is grieving what you are keep pretending did not break you. And sometimes it's sitting still long enough just to hear your thoughts. Sometimes self-care isn't accepting, is it sorry, sometimes self-care is accepting that you cannot heal in the same environment that keeps wounding you. A weekend away will not fix a life you hate returning to. A motivational quote will not replace a boundary. A new planner will not help you if you continue allowing everyone else to control your time. Prayer is powerful, but prayer should not be used to avoid the decisions God has already given you the wisdom to make. Stop asking God to remove people whose behavior he has already revealed to you. Stop asking God for peace while you continue to reopen doors that he has helped you close. Stop asking for a confirmation when the disrespect has already been confirmed. And at some point, self care becomes self respect. So when self care feels selfish, many of us are taught that a good woman gives until there's nothing left. That's a lie. A good mother sacrifices everything. Why? A good partner always understands. Not really. A good daughter keeps the family together. Yeah. A good churchwoman serves wherever she is asked. Keep on burning yourself out. But who decides that being good requires disappearing? You can be a loving mother and still need time alone. You could be a committed partner and still have individual needs. You could love your family without becoming responsible for everyone's choices. You could serve God without serving yourself into resentment. You could care about people without carrying them. Rest does not make you lazy. A boundary does not make you mean. Choosing yourself does not automatically mean rejecting everybody else. And let us tell the whole truth. If your decision to care for yourself offends someone, there is a possibility they will benefit from your lack of boundaries. Pay attention to who becomes angry when you stop overexerting yourself or overextending yourself to them. Their reaction may reveal what your exhaustion was providing for them. So, my truth. I know what it feels like to have many things pulling you all at once. To be a leader, encourager, dependable one, the woman with the vision, the woman building something, and still be a woman who gets tired. I know what it's like to care deeply about your purpose while also worrying about the people you love. I know what it feels like to have positive things happening in your life and still reach a weak moment. That does not make you ungrateful. It makes you human. I had to understand that I cannot keep pouring into my purpose, my family, my ministry, my work, and everyone connected to me without allowing God to pour back into me. I cannot encourage women to find themselves while slowly losing myself and refusing to rest. I cannot tell other women that their lives matter while treating my own well being like it's optional. And neither can you. Your calling does not require you to destroy yourself. Your family does not need a version of you that gives everything and quietly resents them for asking for it. Your purpose does not need you to burn out. The people who genuinely love you do not need what you don't just need what you could provide. They need your healthy, honesty, present, and whole. So it's time for a crown check. So ask yourself these questions honestly. Who has access to me but does not respect me? What am I continuing to carry because I'm afraid of disappointing people? Where have I confused being needed with being loved? What does my body keep telling me that I refuse to hear? Why do I feel guilty when I rest? Who taught me that taking care of myself was selfish? And here's one of the hardest questions. If I stopped doing everything for everybody else, who would I be? Some of us do not know the answer because our entire identity has been built around being useful. But you are more than what you do for people. You are more than the meals you cook, the bills you pay, the advice you give, the problems you solve, the events you organize, and the crisis you manage. You are worthy when you are resting. You are worthy when you say no. You are worthy when you have nothing to give. Your crown does not fall off because you need a break. Sometimes just adjusting your crown means putting down what was never yours to carry. So, I have some self care challenges. So, this week, I want you to do more than post about self care. I want you to practice it. First, say one honest no. No long explanations, no excuses, no apologies. Simply say, I'm not able to do that. Second, take 1 hour that belongs to only you, not your job, children, church, business, your phone. Use it to rest, pray, walk, write, cry. Something that reminds you that you are still a person. Third, identify one relationship that consistently drains you. You do not have to immediately cut that person off, but you do need to tell yourself the truth about the pattern. Fourth, ask for help with one thing you would normally force yourself to handle alone. And finally, make one appointment you've been neglecting, whether it's medical, mental health, financial, spiritual, or personal. Self care is not something you wait to deserve. You practice it because your life has value. So, this next part I call the moment at the throne. So, take a breath, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. For a moment, you do not have to perform. You do not have to be strong. You do not have to solve anything. Okay? I want you to go into your own self and just pray. Okay? Amen. And if you need more time, pause the video. So before you leave, remember this. You are not strong because you tolerate everything. You are not loving because you allow people to drain you. You are not faithful because you refuse to rest. And you are not selfish because you finally decided that your well being matters too. Some people may not like the Hill version of you because she has boundaries. Some people may not like the Hill version of you, but it's okay. Some people may mix the exhausted version of you because she was easier to use. Let them miss her because she's not coming back. The woman you are becoming will still be loving, generous, faithful, and compassionate, but she will no longer abandon herself to prove it. This has been She Reigns, the real conversation, where we tell the truth, face the wounds, and adjust our crowns. I'm your host, Shaquana Yard, and today's question: what have you been calling strength that is actually self neglect? Be honest with yourself. Your healing may begin with the answer. Until next time, take care of the woman beneath the crown because she deserves to reign too.